All right, Leo. So this one looks a little bit difficult, but what I will say is I don't think that some of you should be overworking for people who are going to treat you badly. So from Lay Vampire, you pulled jealousy, envy, punishment, and changing course. And then from Chakra Wisdom, you pulled workaholic. Now, the other thing that I'm getting from this, though, too, is you can't avoid dealing with people who are treating you badly. But they're only doing that because of jealousy. Jealousy, very specifically, is about other people treating you bad and wanting to punish you because you have good things going on. But, like I said, with workaholic, it's one of those things where you're going to burn yourself out if you have people around you that are making you feel like you're inadequate and you need to start putting in more effort. Well, that's to your detriment. And it's only because these people that you're dealing with here are jealous of you and they want to make you feel bad. Now, all right, here's your overall for the week. The star, beautiful, beautiful. So healing. Hope and healing, but it's also about, looking at what you want on a big time scale. When the star comes after the tower and you've had this absolute destruction, this is looking at the bigger picture, right? For a lot of you, I almost feel like what you thought that you wanted before wasn't as good as what you could have now. And again, with the star being there, absolutely having healing, but then also looking at things in a much bigger way, and then absolutely having the ability to, have that now in your life. Boy, in the past, the sun. You guys are getting a lot of clarity right now on the things that you're wanting on a big time scale. The sun is the past coming through, right? It's not just feeling good and feeling rejuvenated. It's also about feeling better about your sense of self, because you're talking about your identity here with the sun. Ego shows up with this, but it's, a good thing. But then also having absolute clarity on the past, on things that have happened in the past, having everything brought out into the light of day, right? And then looking up at the stars and going, I can have better. Wow. Leo. Jeez. In the present, the Chariot. So now beyond talking about like moving or traveling here, we're talking about control, right? It's willpower and self-control though. And getting control over the way that you are thinking and feeling and getting that momentum forward. But then I also feel like, depending on what's happening in your environment here, we could be talking about you needing to travel to go after things that are bigger for you, looking at the star. You could be talking about dealing with somebody who is at a distance, a job that you may have to move to. But everything is on a major scale right now. Future conditions, the Ace of Swords, damn. Wow. Now, that to me is like, it could, for me immediately when I look at it, I think the epiphany, the aha moment, the fucking light bulb going on in your head and going, yeah, I deserve better. I can have better. I can do better. But, the truth though, what is it about the truth that is making you look at things in a bigger way? With the star, is it that you are accepting a truth now, but either way, it's still with an ace, a brand new beginning for you, but it's more of like living your own truth now. But like I said, for some of you, it's like you have to make a major move to get there. Your best path to follow the Six of Pentacles, and that's so minor compared to all the stuff that you have going on. Who else had this here? I think it was Gemini. Theirs is more about show me the money. I think for you, it's like you may need to meet someone halfway. Now, on the other hand, it's if you want this, you're going to have to give something to get it. You know what I mean? But then not only that, it's one of those things for me, though, too, with the Six of Pentacles where, if you're happy, you have emotional balance and healing, you have, things happening for you on a big time scale, it's like share the wealth, right? But I don't know, I feel more so that this is going to have to do with needing to be met halfway, needing to have, something come in to like show you that this is possible. Because I still see the star, especially with the sun coming through, being about you wanting things on a much bigger scale than what you have accepted before. In your environment, the Queen of Swords. Now, this could definitely be, the person that you're dealing with here, right? And you're talking about air sign. But now, like I've said, when it comes to court cards, the personality is what sticks out to me. So with the Queen of Swords, whoever it is that you are dealing with, they may be at a distance with you with the Chariot. You may be having to, go to them to speak a truth. But with the Queen of Swords, this is really about being blunt and direct. You may have somebody who is like being, straight up with you, straight up and honest with you about something. But they may be coming to you and speaking this, or you them looking at the Chariot. But I mean, either way, to me, it's about you picking up the momentum in your own life right now and going after things on a much bigger scale, right? But it's because of a truth that may be being spoken by someone, and you may need to be open to receive that. For some of you, it may be that you need to give a little bit here to get this information. But I don't see her as a bad thing. I don't think that you guys are being cold and shut off. I don't think that that's it. I think that if anything, the clarity of the past has made you maybe a little bit harsh, but you're not playing games anymore. I mean, seriously, you're not playing games anymore. But absolutely, for some of you, you may have somebody coming through speaking something to you. Your hopes and your fears, the Nine of Swords. Now, when you're talking about the Nine of Swords, these are the thoughts that like kind of run away with you, And it may be one of those things where it may just be anxiety that is getting a hold of you. Don't let your anxieties stop you. And don't stop yourself from living your truth though either, because of the Chariot and the Ace of Swords. But I see this more as like anxiety. I mean, it's almost like worrying about what's going to happen. If I do this, what's going to happen? But you still have this clarity coming through. And it may be that some of you are just looking to get out of a nightmare situation instead of being stuck with thinking about all the things that don't make you happy anymore. Because again, we're still looking at the stars, the overall. I mean, it's not the Nine of Cups, but I just, like I said, I still think that this is going to be about you looking at things in a much bigger way. Now, Aquarius does show up here with the Queen of Swords. And absolutely, you may have an Aquarius coming through that may be like giving you, that mental clarity and helping you to get out of your anxiety and helping you to make that choice, right? And then coming out the Four of Wands. I love it. Looking at it this way, I mean, to me, this is just semantics. Yeah, this is on a major scale, but this to me is like, okay, we need to move. We need to travel. We need to go somewhere to make this happen. That or, like I said, somebody is doing this for you or you them. But this is just overthinking things. But the way that you come out on this is you move to a place where you feel like you've accomplished something big. Absolutely. But I look at the Chariot and I think home, like finally coming home, finally where you belong, finally getting that stability that you needed, not worrying anymore. And it absolutely could be about building a life with someone here. And if this is about you, definitely it's about you being very blunt and direct here, but it's only because you're speaking the truth and speaking your own truth. Especially with where you're headed. And then the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, I do think that this is going to have to do with you right now. You moving to a place where you feel secure and self-sufficient though too. Now, I mean, and again, right, like you could definitely be dealing with a person here, or two people even, earth and air, but I don't know. I think that whoever is in your space right now, it's because of them that you are this way. But ultimately coming out here, especially with the Four of Wands and looking at the Queen of Pentacles, you feel secure, you feel stable, you know, not feeling insecure. But, you know, there are, like, issues you have to deal with before you get there. Now, when we look at the Two of Pentacles, absolutely, we could be talking about you needing to manage some finances, if I could talk right. Needing to juggle things, right? Balance things out. Needing to figure out your money situation before you make a move. But then the other thing, though, too, is really about, you know, you needing to be flexible here with, you know, changes that may be happening. I don't think it's about you bending over backwards. You know, you may have in the past, but again, with the sun shining on everything, it's like, no, you know, you see that for what it is. Now, with the Page of Swords, though, I worry about that a little bit. And then going back to the Nine of Swords, it makes sense. And it could just be that you need more. You need more information. You need more clarity, but you absolutely do get it here in future conditions. And I think that that's what makes you feel a little bit more secure about making the big move you're about to make. You know, but like I said, it's only because you're looking at things in a much bigger way here with the Star. And it could be that the only way that you're going to get to this stability and healing is if you make a major move. You know, and that could just be needing to move, you know, to a different place, a different home, finally coming home, or moving to a different job, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be long distance, but I feel like this is more about a physical move than anything else. You know, but I do still think that, you know, there is somebody involved. But there's absolute truth and clarity coming out on this, and it leads you to a place where you feel like, I think that when you look at wisdom, I think of people who have had a lot of experience. They've had a lot of different experiences in life, but, you know, you're needing to look at, you know, what you have learned through all those experiences, needing to be wise about the choices that you make. But then inner power, right? That's really, you know, for me, going back to the Nine of Swords, it's like needing to pull on that inner power to make the move that you need to make, right? And not let anxiety stop you. Now, play is basically saying that you need to take a minute here to allow yourself the room to have fun. Right? Everything can't be about work. Everything, you know, can't be so serious. You have to have time where you get to enjoy the life that you have, you know. Now, for a lot of you, you know, in order to get to a place where you feel like you have the room to have fun and enjoy life, you know, it's like you're going to have to make a major move. You know, but I still go back to the Oracle cards, and I think, yeah, for a lot of you, it's going to have to do with work and needing to get to, you know, a better spot where you feel secure and stable, looking at the Queen of Pentacles coming out. And then actions speak loudly, express love through your actions. So when it comes to love, you know, when you're talking about focus on love, one of the things that I point out with this one is, when you are needing to look at the good in other people, you know, it's only because you have dealt with shitty people before. And then I go back to jealousy, right? You can't judge other people based on assholes that you have dealt with before, right? It's important to look for the good in everyone. And then actions speak loudly. You're going to have to act. You're going to have to act on something here. And then I look at the Chariot, right? But I do think that for the general read, for a lot of you, this is going to have to do with getting to a place where you feel less anxiety over, you know, what you are doing. You do deserve better here, and absolutely, you know, you shouldn't accept anything less. But you're going to have to, you know, possibly work out a financial situation here, because I'm looking at the Two of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles, just to get to where you feel a little bit more stable, but also because, like I said, for a lot of you, it's going to be a big move. But where you come out, especially with the sun kicking this off, You look more secure. You look more independent. I think that, you're better able to manage things. And I do think that there is going to be a better sense of stability and security for you. All right, Leo. So I feel like this whole reading is about, things being made clear to you as far as you deserving more, deserving better. Bigger and better is what I see here with the star being there. And then looking at the sun, again, it's about feeling better about who you are, because you're talking about your identity here with the sun. Now, moving into the Chariot and then looking at the Queen of Swords, if we're talking about you, then absolutely it's about you being straight to the point about where you're wanting to go, what you're wanting to do here. I do think that the Chariot is about a physical move, but I'm looking back at the Page of Swords being connected to this, and then looking at the Queen of Swords and then the Ace of Swords coming out. So at one point, you may not have been fully truthful about the fact that you were planning on doing something, but the truth eventually does come out, and I think it's you being very harsh and direct about what you expect this time, because you realize that you deserve better. Right? And with the star being the overall, we're talking about you doing something that's going to create healing in your own life. And then not only that, but going after the bigger and the better. Now, with the Six of Pentacles, I feel like for some of you, you're going to have to give a little bit to get some, right? As far as making a big move here, right? Making a big change. You may have to look at possibly, asking for assistance, possibly financially, to do this, because I do see move. And then with the Four of Wands coming out, absolutely there's this sense of coming home, feeling like you are where you belong now. And then looking at the clarifiers for that with the Two of Pentacles, absolutely, trying to figure out what you were doing in the past and what you were wanting to do now, right? And then not only that, but, financial stability here, trying to figure out the finances. But like I said, with the Page of Swords, it's you either need some information here, or, it may be that, you're not being completely honest. But again, with the Ace of Swords coming out, there is truth. But even if you're looking at needing more information, you definitely get it with the Ace of Swords. But with the Queen of Pentacles coming out and looking at the Four of Wands, we're talking about you feeling secure now with where you are at. And it looks really good. I like it, because to me, it's somebody finally realizing I deserve better. And I deserve to have, good things in my life. I am a good person. I feel better about who I am. And I realize that, I can go after my hopes and my wishes on a big time scale, right? And it looks great. The only thing that I look at here and I worry about is the Nine of Swords. But like I said, I think it has to do with anxiety, that fear of, if I do this, what does that mean? And then naturally the Ten of Swords coming after that, right? I can see the fear and anxiety over, possibly things ending really badly. But, it's just because it's there, it's just about, the things that are playing out in your mind that may prevent you from actually making the move that you need to make. Now, as far as the Oracle cards, that may be the reason why you're looking to make a major move here. And it could definitely have to do with work. But looking at jealousy, workplace jealousy with workaholic, absolutely. But then, you avoiding having to deal with people like this. And it may be that you're dealing with somebody who's jealous over the fact that, you have a really good job and you're really wrapped up in it and you're not paying attention to them or anything else, which is a possibility. But then the other thing I will say is you don't want to be busting your ass for somebody who doesn't care. Now, as far as the soul trees, play and wisdom and inner power, right? I feel like, especially with workaholics showing up, looking at play, it's you realize now that, you need room to have fun, but then wisdom and looking at inner power, right? Your wisdom is, your inner power here, right? You gain wisdom through being able to be free. I feel like that more than anything, looking at the sun and the star. But wisdom, I also think of somebody who has had a lot of life experience, right? And it gives you the inner power that you need to make that move, make that major move. But like I said, with the Four of Wands coming out, you get to a place where you get to celebrate, and then I look at play. You know, you've accomplished something here. But coming home, feeling secure. Now, as far as Whispers of Love, focus on love and then actions speak loudly. You know, the big thing with focus on love is when we're talking about looking at the good in people, you can't, you know, judge somebody based on the fact that you've dealt with assholes before, but then actions speak loudly. You know, if you're seeing the good in another person, then you need to act on that and express the way that you feel. But overall, Leo, this is really big. You guys are moving into a place now where, you know, you're seeing yourselves in a better light. And you're working toward going after things that are bigger. And you're going to see at least some level of accomplishment here coming out. And again, it's going to bring you this sense of security and no longer feeling insecure about who you are and your ability to create security in your life, which is perfect.